Well, frankly, I think DOJ needs to get to work in the press briefing room, but I'll leave that aside for a second. Look, I think that what it has come down to, obviously, they have embeds. They've done the burrowing in of all the the presidential appointments under President Biden, turning them into career civil servants. They've tried to mount the best resistance that they can. But unfortunately, and we are not, shall we say, sunshine soldiers. We are winter soldiers here in the war room. We call shots. We call balls and strikes. Every person, for the most part, there's always some issues, but who has been appointed under President Trump, I think particularly at the Department of Justice, has been an absolute killer. And I think that there's, if you really get down to it, a certain level of agency and autonomy that a lot of these individuals have in terms of feeling comfortable to actually push back and carry out their own mandate, that I think if you really get to the core of it, much like the resistance is very systemic, well thought out, and well planned. I know you aren't allowed to say the words Project 2025, but this is a resistance, a sort of pro-Trump resistance that's been being planned for a very, very long time, right? We had 4 years to plan this, and I think what you're seeing is execution. And I know the comm shop has been working overtime to really message and push back against a lot of the smears coming from the mainstream media. I think one point, an example that really showcases this is that the mainstream media is trying to take a bunch of laps and dunk, not just on the White House, but on the sort of, X brigade, saying that, oh, well, some of the grants that you guys have identified, they're actually not coming from USAID, but rather they're coming from the State Department. And I think that logic, Steve, actually proves why President Trump's federal funding freeze needs to be implemented. Because it's not just USAID. There is something rotten within the entirety of this government. And I think President Trump and, like I said, the Twitter researchers, the Twitter investigators, the DOJ people are really getting to the bottom of it. And it really is firing on all cylinders. And like I said, Steve, the real tell, I wish the audience, I would do anything I could to bring you guys inside that room with me. They're an absolute meltdown. I believe I heard everyone say, I can't believe it's not Friday yet. I can't believe the week's not over. It feels like we've been here for months. It feels like this is the longest week ever. It's just about dismantling. How do we cover it? And then another quote, I don't think that, the people want to read about all these stories about these random agencies being shut down. And I was like, no, we do, and we're going to.